Disclaimer, this video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. The music, pictures and clips here are not owned by me. Give me a break please WTF. Just sit back, relax and don't use your brain cells, and enjoy the show.
In all the eras of Godzilla films, there were many iterations of Mechagodzilla, from the more nitty-gritty fighter types, to the more, I am gonna stay at a very far distance squirting you with missiles and all other types of crap so that you would get annoyed, type of mecha. But it makes you wonder, if Legendary Pictures or even Toho for that matter start to get pissed at Godzilla and maybe want to put an end to his reign, then they would want to make the ultimate mecha to kill the bastard, right? Ignore bringing back Bagan or even destroy it to this matter, since they would make the ultimate mecha, the mecha to end all mecha, maybe even clap the strongest kaiju. The ultimate Mecha Godzilla, what would it look like? And what would its abilities and size be? And would it really be the mecha to end all mechas? Let's find out. Welcome to Kaiju Check, where I review kaijus and make the weirdest shit. So to get started we must look at the different iterations of Mecha Godzilla, and what has evolved in its design and its overall girth from the oldest films to the current films, just to give you an idea of the magnitude of what our ultimate mecha should look like. So a quick recap on all the iterations of Mecha Godzilla from the oldest Showa era to the recent MonsterVerse Mecha Godzilla design. So to get started we must look at the different iterations of Mecha Godzilla, and what has evolved in its design and its overall girth from the oldest films to the current films. Showa Mechagodzilla, 1974. The first version of Mechagodzilla was built by the Black Hole Planet 3 aliens and stood at 50 meters tall and weighed 40,000 metric tons. Its weapons included finger missiles, I-beams, a chest-mounted laser, and a concealed robot hand. Showa Mechagodzilla, 1975. This version of Mechagodzilla was built by the Cetopian aliens and was a modified version of the previous one. It stood at the same height and weight as its predecessor and had the same weapons, with the addition of a missile launcher. Heisei Mechagodzilla, 1993. This version of Mechagodzilla was built by the United Nations and stood at 120 meters tall and weighed 150,000 metric tons. Its weapons included finger missiles, plasma grenades, and a Mega Buster. Super Mechagodzilla, 1994. This upgraded version of Mechagodzilla stood at the same height as its predecessor but weighed slightly more at 150,000 metric tons. Its weapons included finger missiles, plasma grenades, a Mega Buster, and a shock anchor. Kiryu, 2002. Kiryu was built using the bones of the original Godzilla and stood at 60 meters tall and weighed 40,000 metric tons. Its weapons included a drill hand, rail guns, and an absolute zero cannon. Kiryu, 2003. This upgraded version of Kiryu stood at the same height and weight as its predecessor. Its weapons included an improved drill hand, enhanced rail guns, and an upgraded absolute zero cannon. Kiryu, 2004. This version of Kiryu was equipped with a jetpack and a triple drill attack. Its dimensions remained the same as the previous two versions. Kiryu, 2016. This version of Kiryu, also known as Kiryu Type 3, was built using advanced technology and stood at 80 meters tall and weighed 50,000 metric tons. Its weapons included a drill hand, a triple rail gun, and an absolute zero cannon. Mechagodzilla City from the Godzilla anime, 2021. This version of Mechagodzilla was created by combining multiple mechanical monsters into a single entity. Its dimensions and weapons are not explicitly stated, but it is shown to have an array of lasers and missiles. It was the main antagonist of the anime. MonsterVerse Mechagodzilla, 2022. Movie, Godzilla vs. Kong, 2021. Dimensions. Mechagodzilla in the Monsterverse stands at 120 meters tall and weighs approximately 164,000 metric tons. Weapons. Mechagodzilla is equipped with an array of weapons, including: it has several weapons and abilities. Its A-74 proton scream cannon can overpower Godzilla's atomic breath, and it possesses buzzsaw claws that can cut through flesh while grappling. Its dorsal plates are used to defend its organs and make it harder for a Titan to destroy it. Mechagodzilla is durable due to being made of metal, and it can charge blue energy into its hands and feet for devastating hits on Godzilla and Kong. It also has jaw grinders, missile launchers, and learning algorithms. In combat, it has enhanced physical strength and human-like reflexes, making it a formidable opponent. Mechagodzilla can swim and has a tail drill, and its thrusters make it agile in close-quarters combat. A pretty fucking swell mech and blasts every mecha in the Godzilla franchise out of the water so far. But we can do better, and here's what we're gonna add.
Did you wash your ass today?
Now that we have covered all of Mechagodzilla's iterations, let me tell how the ultimate Mechagodzilla would look like. Let's first start at the body where all physical damage would start at. So we would need to increase its size and maybe change some aspects of it physically, and wait to even come close to some of the raw strength kaiju have at base level only. Remember, Mechagodzilla is mostly hollow inside with only supported by hydraulics, wires and weapons outside of the mecha, or maybe some hidden weapons inside his frame, but that's about it. Not really compensating for the raw strength that the mech's hydraulics could pump out, and that's why he gets easily pushed back at times, so we have to increase its size, change its body in terms of physicality, and make this baby heavier so it won't get pushed back, so that's why I am gonna add 5 torso.
メカロボットフェーズ1ボディ&ウェイト
So the biggest Mechagodzilla by far is the Monsterverse Mechagodzilla with a height of 400 and about feet, which is 122 meters, and weighing about 605,450 tons. Only second to that is Super Mechagodzilla with a height of 120 meters and weighing about 150,482 tons. Only 2 meters difference, but the weight differences are huge. So, for the ultimate mecha to not get pushed back, it needs to be as heavy as can be, and also with a frame that is both massive and durable, but without compromising its movement. So we need to change its overall body structure. For now, this bipedal, standing upright looking ass-walking robo-lizard won't do the trick. So since we are building the ultimate mech, we have to turn it up a notch. By a lot, I mean a lot. So that is why we need 5 torsos, and being the ultimate mecha that we are, we need to make a wide and thick torso, as thick as can be. So the first torso has to have a ridiculous weight, a weight so heavy that it won't ever be pushed back ever again. It needs to be a ridiculous weight to not be easily pushed back by aggressive kaiju like Godzilla, or even cunning and aggressive monkey madness monkey flip kaiju like King Kong. So it needs to be at a whopping 30 million metric tons. Why? You ask? Because we are building the ultimate mecha here. And also, I want to see how ridiculous this would look like in the end. Oh, and did I also mention that the 30 million metric tons is for the body only? Let's continue.
What the fuck?
Now with the first torso's weight now at a whopping 30 million metric tons, no kaiju in theory should be able to push this beast ever, and that is just the first torso. Realistically speaking, it should about crush everything with that weight. But we are far from over. We have to add the second, third, fourth and finally the fifth torso, which will be the final piece to rest the overpowered new handsome mecha face. I will build the body sort of like a pyramid, but with steroids. So the second torso will simply be placed on top of the first torso as sort of a counterweight to balance it off. And let's make it about, yeah, a cool 50 million metric tons. Should be good. Yes, that is beautiful.
Beautiful.
Now the third torso will next then be stacked on top of the second torso, to become, I don't know, maybe a bastion, or maybe a garage of base for smaller Mecha Godzillas to pop out. Yeah, we'll call it the Mechagodzilla stacker. This third torso will be light 20 million metric tons, and then the fourth torso will stack up on top of the third torso, and this fourth torso will be also a light one, at the usual 20 million metric tons. Phew, that's a lot to take in, like holding a massive poo. And then the final big buggeroo to top off this big-ass mecha combiner fucker will be the fifth torso. This massive behemoth of a base will be the final resting place of our ultimate mecha head, weighing in a whopping 250 million metric tons, with a grand spanking 370 million metric tons.
エクストラトルソ1、2、3、4、5エンゲージドレディートゥーゴー
30 million metric tons is already too much, but a whopping big Johnny of 370 million metric tons? Damn son, I must have lost my mind. Oh no. Anyway, now with its weight being super unwieldy, let's change the aspects of its body, so to support the massive weight, and that's why we've come up with a unanimous decision that we definitely should add more legs. What the absolute balls, with its bonkers weight of 370 million tons, I don't think that 2 legs that are thin as toothpicks would do the trick, so let's add about him. Yeah, let's add 15 really fat stubby legs with feet that are really wide to cover a lot of ground. It may be slow for now, but trust me fellow viewers, it's gonna get a whole lot crazier if you stick around in this video. Like and subscribe my babes. It needs a lot of legs because first of all it's cool, and second of all, why the absolute balls would you not want more legs in a mech of this size and magnitude? But if you're a nerd and want closure to this to satisfy our minds in nerd juice, then I'll tell you. The reason why it has big stubby legs and really wide feet because it could cover more ground, and it won't even take 5 steps to cross over a country. And also giant feet could store a lot more gizmos and gadgets that I will also add later in this video. With its unwieldy weight, let's now add the main torso.
メカフィートゲット15フィートスペシャル
We got the body, we got the feet, it's time for the main component, the head. What? Did you really think that we were over? No kekekeke. We are far from over akekekeke. Ahem. Sorry, what do you think made Mecha Godzilla so feared and also so sought after by kaiju fans? Is it his epic weaponry, his fighting spirit? His audacity to fight back at the big G and not realizing that he is just giant hunk of metal that could be destroyed, but the writers make it so that it can't get destroyed at the first fight but get destroyed at a clutch moment when poop really hits the fan. I guess I am just ranting at this point, but I digress. Did you figure it out yet? No? Yeah? Ah, that's right, because of its looks. What? Not the answer you're thinking of? Well, yay, me either, but I digress. Our ultimate mecha has the body of a world champion sumo wrestler, feet size of a hairy mythical creature whose name I will not mention due to NDA reasons, and quantity of feet more than a spider. Now it just needs to look mean enough, and then we now have a great base body for the crazy weapons that we're gonna add. Kekekeke. Now, how do we make it look meaner? Do we make it look angrier? Make it more demonic looking to scare the kaiju and also scar myself mentally? Or, do we add more heads? Yay, let's add more HEA, let's add maybe 10, no, that's too much, let's add 15 heads to the body. Is this overkill, you ask? Well, yes. But if I don't do this, then who will? Just imagine, a normal Godzilla shoot its lonely singular beam at you. It would probably feel painful of course, so if we add a family of heads on top, it would most probably scare the shit out of me and you of course dear viewer, and it would probably look like this. Yes, pretty scary. At that point if I saw that I would accept my death then and there. I mean, what optimistic idiot would run away thinking that they could get away from it in time? Yes, complete idiots, and I hope that's not you. If it is, he'll give you a hug anytime, man or woman, gay or ostrich.
15怪獣ヘッドエクスプロージョンダブル大レア
Now that we have the main three, which are the body, the legs, and the head. Time for the arms. The Mechagodzillas from the Showa, Heisei, Millennium, and Reiwa period all have the same creaky, very stiff arms that are much stiffer than than the Statue of Liberty. Hope no one got that. These arms are a no-no, so let's change it, and let's add some more arms. What? If you've stuck around for this long, then you know where I am getting at, won't you? It needs to have a lot of arms, and how could these two stiffy, creaky arms stop, parry or block any nuclear beams of Godzilla, or even any fire-breathing, beaming from the mouth kaiju? Of course it'll get destroyed if it only had really mediocre arms, and that's why I am gonna add more. But let's improve the mecha hands from the ground up first, with this new design I've made called the effigy. Why it's called effigy, I'll tell you in a minute, but my design goes like this.
Stop sending me pictures of gay black dudes kissing! Stop it! It's turning me on!
First we need a really thick arm for all the space, and for all the stuff that we're gonna put on it. Then we add more hands, because duh, the more the merrier. I think 40 fingers should do the trick, and bam. There we go, the hand, but now we need the arm, and for that say goodbye to that vanilla Mechagodzilla arm you know and love, and say hello to my little friend, the big-ass robo-mofo mecha warrior thick bicep arm, and boom. Mwah, my masterpiece. Now that we have the new and improved hands, and our really spicy swagalicious arms, let us combine these two holy objects to make one artifact. And there we go, the arm. Now let's add about 30 of this arms to the mecha and boom.
Mecha Monster Godzilla Arms with Hands That's Like A Nightmare Get.
We have the masterpiece, but something still is missing. Do you know what it is? Yes, that's right. We are missing a Pikachu. What the fuck? What I meant was, we are missing what every American redneck man with a racist cop mustache wed dreams about, and that's exactly what you're thinking about in that big coconut of yours, weapons. Every mech needs weapons, that's just a given. It's like the 10 Commandments but for mechs. If there exists a mech without weapons, then what the fuck are you doing in this earth? Go die in a fire for all I care. Why build a mech that has no weapons? Enough ranting, I will tell you why. The Mechagodzillas from the past eras still lack the firepower. Even the Mechagodzilla in the current monsterverse died, and you know why. The lack of weapons, and I know what you are gonna tell me, but TimusTrinitus, the reason why Mechagodzilla from the monsterverse died because of plot armor of the monkey and lizard, and also bad guys are supposed to lose, because it's a movie for children and man-childs with an UNHEALTHLY obsession with giant monsters. Shut the fuck up. You nerd, this mech needs more weapons, and more weapons I will give it. Let me give you an example. What do you all see here? Yes, that's right, it's Mechagodzilla. Then what about these pictures here? Yes, exactly, a lot of space to put more weapons, so let's fucking fill this up with GODDARN weapons, y'all, yeehaw.
Ultimate Robot Weapon Gun American School Shooter Special Arsenal Hit 50.
We now have the looks, the guns, now we must learn to control the inside. It's time to tackle out personal feelings now that I think about it. The reason why all the Mechagodzillas fail all the time is because of their need to be controlled at the distance by humans. Meh. Such noobs can't even play a game right, let alone some giant skyscraper-sized mecha robot monsters destroy it. Trust me, if that was me controlling it, it'd be losing my shit and balls, and Godzilla and Kong would be wiped from the face of the earth. Yes sir, I am that good. This flaw is the most fatal flaw in Mechagodzilla's design, because if the connection with the pilot and the mech is severed, or if the pilot is dead altogether, then the mech is fucked. In other words, without the pilot, then the mech is just a husk, an empty shell, that cannot move, thus making an easy target for kaiju. The solution? Easy peasy, we add artificial AI. For that reason, is why not bro? It's low cost, does not need food, emotional and motivational support, is compliant with orders and not a jackass with an attitude, and yes, AI can also adapt and learn from any situation and make countermeasures for it, and kaiju is the perfect example for this. To give you an example, say, that a human in a mech encounters Kumonga, a giant spider kaiju, that shits webs everywhere and they don't know what to do. Well, for starters, the humans will naturally get trapped first and slowly learn from experience, whereas AI won't even need to be trapped from Kumonga's webs to learn. It will just learn from surfing the web or even the back doors of the government's data to learn about its kaiju, which is Kumonga. No, in about a few seconds, it knows what the kaiju is, how it moves, what it eats, etc. But I know what you're asking now, isn't the MonsterVerse Mechagodzilla operated by an AI? Well, if you look at it that way, then yes, but no, it's not, because if you look at the movie again, you could see that the entire mech's framework is built around a skull of one of 3 King Ghidorah heads, so it doesn't count. It's more like a biological savagery, and it is already engraved from the start that King Ghidorah hates every living being. It only lives to violate and dominate, so it's not secret that even if it's dead, skeleton and all, it will still remember what its purpose was from the beginning, since it is engraved biologically in its DNA, to kill all life forms. So it's more of an influence and not like a cold and calculative fast movement like an AI. It needs some sort of sentient type of AI, one that has all the knowledge and wisdom from the web, and already has a lot of tools in its arsenal. Only experience will temper this AI to become the beast it will become, and that's what we need to do. I will name this AI Bob, and Bob will become a god that will make the kaiju lick its cold metal BOUJEEPEDICURED feet. Slay. Bob. Fabulous.
BOB the AI get successfully installed free American software.
We have the body, the weapons, and the AI. But by the looks of it, it just looks like any other anime mecha that can pew any target from a certain distance. So what our mech needs is a shifu, and to get that, we need to add martial arts to the mech's AI. Programming. To summarize this, there are thousands of martial arts on Earth and thousands of new styles being made daily. So there is no accurate number of how many martial arts there are on Earth, but I can say for sure that our AI can learn them all. But let's not get too excited at first. Let's let the AI learn the top 50 of the most used martial arts on Earth that are ranked on popularity in various media and video games, and these martial arts are Karate, Taekwondo, Judo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, Kung Fu, Boxing, Wrestling, Aikido, Capoeira, Krav Maga, Kickboxing, Hapkido, Savate, Eskrima, Wing Chun, Jeet Kune Do, Ninjutsu, Sambo, Silat, Shotokan, Kendo, Pencak Silat, Jiu-Jitsu, Shaolin Kung Fu, Kali, Kenjutsu, Wushu, Tang Su Do, Muido Botongji, Karate Kyokushin, Sistema, Shirinji Kempo, Bajinkan, Goju Ryu, Kaju Kenbo, Tai Chi, Taito, Kuk Sul 1, Lethwei, Shuai Jiao, Sumo, Vovinam, Bando, Bartitsu, Wa Rang Du, Okinawan Kabuto, Arnis, Combatant, Xingyaquan. These are the top 50 most used martial arts on Earth. Our sentient AI will gather information of each martial art and learn them, and apply them to combat effective immediately like seasoned veterans that have seen combat through countless battlefields. So let's start. Let the learning begin. This should do the trick. Our ultimate Mecha Godzilla has martial arts that surpass that of a Chinese martial arts light novel mech. And no, I am not joking. There are plenty of wacky Chinese cultivation novels. Feel free to check those out. Our mech has a baseline of 50 martial arts, but the more it uses these 50 base martial arts, it can then use millions of billions or even endless combinations of the 50 martial arts against kaiju and could just look for more and download new martial arts from the internet. Easy as that. Our mech now looks like a boss, has guns like a LVL 99 boss, and now it can fight like 5,000 Bruce Lees and 5,000 Jackie Chans, or even 10,000 Jet Lees in one room with you in the middle of it. I am now kinda scared of what we could add next, but who cares, I am curious of what the end will be like, so stick around to find out, because it's gonna wet from here on out, you feel me fam? Hee. And maybe leave me a comment if you like more videos like this. So, with the addition of martial arts, a body, a lot of heads, and a lot of guns, this mech is now pretty much a walking army at this point, and could be pretty much ready to go. I mean, it can parry, block, counter, and even counter-attack almost all of the kaiju's physical attacks, but it is not enough. We need more. It needs to
Bruce Lee Kickboom, American Karate Destroyer, Worldwide Grandmaster, Barbecue Lanjin Chanman Rocket Ship Made in China 5000 Super Robot Deforestation Game.
I am such an idiot. A mech of a magnitude like this is missing one of the most important aspects of a giant pew power destroyer. And that is flight. A mech with this thickness and such Japanese engineering. So to honor this, let us add a fuck ton of wings. I mean, we will add wings, but not in a way that you expect me to add wings, capiche? We will add 10 pairs of mecha wings. But that is not all, my friends. We will not stop there. So of course, obviously, 10 measly wings cannot carry the ultimate girth of this behemoth weighing 370 million metric tons. Well duh, it's just for aesthetic purposes, like this. What can make this thing fly, you ask? Are you dumb? We will use rockets, of course. We will use about 300 giant rockets. Yeah, I think that's enough thrust for about one flight. I get that it's very excess and stupid, but isn't this the whole point of this, to see the boundaries of our stupidity and find the utmost limit and craziness of the most buffed and maxed out spec mecha kaiju to ever exist? Yeah, exactly.
ロケットミサイルなサイズクラップロケットゲットローンチマイアスイントゥスペースレディーセットゴースペース X ロックイットイズベターザンナサロックイットイロンムスクプリーズスポンサーディスチャンネルプリーズセンド ME テスラ I beg you.
Ah, America and their love for ridiculous cars with engine sizes that could power a small country. It's as if they're compensating for something, am I right? I mean, who needs practicality and fuel efficiency when you can have a gas-guzzling monster that roars down the street like a wild animal? And let's not forget about those giant trucks that take up 2 lanes and make parking a nightmare. But hey, who am I to judge? Americans seem to have a need for speed and size that simply can't be tamed. After all, speed limits are just suggestions, right? And when it comes down to it, maybe size really does matter. When it comes to the engine of your car, of course. Let's make the mech drive on land. I know what you're saying and screaming at the screen, it can fly, and now it can drive on land. What the fuck is wrong with you? And you'd be right since. At this point the mech is walking monstrosity able to kill every kaiju in the Godzilla universe, but I am far from over. You see, making this thing drive on land should be a given, since mechs need a faster way of transporting itself anywhere and everywhere in the world, right? So we're gonna make this mecha drive yeehaw blah. It's time to put some wheels and some engines, and it's time for a mecha 4x4. Now currently there is no engine that is powerful enough or even big enough for that matter to make this thing run like a beast, or maybe a Lamborghini or Bugatti, so calm your balls, man. It might be even slower than we expected to run, maybe 1 kilometer per 10 hours slow, no, even worse. Maybe slower than Gary from SpongeBob. I love you, Gary. Mwah, no offense darling, here, have a kiss. Love you, babe. So adding one huge engine would just be a no-go for this beast of a mech, and adding wheels on this thing might be a dumber idea, as if the ideas I put out aren't dumb to begin with. But I'll still add wheels anyway soon. But not yet, we have to work on this engine problem and wheel problem, and I know the solution. We put tank treads. Why tank treads? Because tank treads, and also because we also need a heavy hairy balls amount of tank treads. So I'll add about 1,010 meter tall tank treads spread all over its body, and top it all off. I'll add a giant singular tank tread below it all. You probably are wondering, Timus, there's already lots of tank treads, why add a really giant one below? Are you stupid? Well, no and yes, and also it looks cool, and most importantly it looks gangsta. To make this Mechagodzilla tank treaded doom of fury rocket ship mania fucker, we need the biggest engine man has ever made. Oh boy, hold on to your hats folks. Because we're about to talk about the meanest, greenest, and leanest engine in the whole dang world. That's right, I'm talking about the Godzilla RT Flex 96C, the diesel engine of your dreams. This baby was made for large container ships that run on heavy fuel oil, and it's so massive that you could practically park a car on top of it. Weighing in at over 2,300 tons and producing a whopping 80.08 megawatts, this engine will make you feel like you're on a rocket ship blasting off to the moon. But wait, it gets better. This engine is designed to reduce fuel consumption and harmful emissions, so you can save the planet while you're cruising across the sea like a boss. With crosshead bearings and specialized lubrication, this engine is like the superhero of the high seas, fighting off wear and tear like it's no big deal. We're gonna need maybe about 100 of these Godzilla RT Flex 96C engines, and that is final. This will make our monster mecha a dragster machine kinda, we'll see. And that's not all, we will add tires, really big tires to this foo. And I am talking about the Firestone 707057 SRG, the biggest tires known to man. This giant American donut is 13 feet in diameter and is 8 tons heavy. And how much do we need? Huh? Can you guess? Come on, guess! Yes, that's right. We are gonna put 300 of these tires to the fat boy. Only for looks though, since the tank treads will basically do all the work.
メガカウボーイメカデストロイヤーゲットトゥーマッチステロイドトゥーマッチテストステロンタンクトレッズアメリカンドリーム
We all like swimming, right? No? Just me? Okay, this ultimate Mecha Godzilla needs to swim. With the help of AI, of course. Think about it, if you were to say, just having a normal fishing trip and all of a sudden from literally 1,000 kilometers away you see this giant hunk of fucking metal just come through like it felt at you, or even the gracefulness of the mighty Zohan swimming techniques. Then it'd be running at the fucking hills, maybe even so scared that it'd leave my balls behind, and let Mechaball's destroyer take it for himself. With the power of AI, this mecha can learn all the techniques of pro Olympic gold medalists and master swimmers, or even animals alike. Their styles, techniques, everything would be absorbed by this monster. in just matters of seconds. But it has to look the part. To swim like a boss as well. So we gotta add some turbines, some underwater engines, all that jazz. So let's go phew, that's done. Looking good baby, this mecha is about to kick some serious ass. I've put so many fins everywhere in this ultimate mech to make him as fast as possible in water. Also I added maybe 30 submarines strapped to his back, just for fun you know. Yeah, now he has a big black submarine. What the hell were you I was supposed to say? Get your mind out off the gutter for Pete's sake.
アルティメットマイケル・フェルプススイミングスラッシュエクストリームジエルタリーファイバーアタック
Now for the final piece, the tail. In all Godzilla movies, Godzilla's tail had an evolution of changes and a magnitude of uses for its tail. At first it was just for looks, later on for attacks, for laser beams etc., but this is the ultimate mecha we are talking about. So let's go all out for this last trick pony. We are making the ultimate tail for the ultimate kaiju. First we're gonna need a heavy tail base. Like real heavy. Something so heavy, that if the ultimate Mecha Godzilla would swing it at a kaiju seriously, the kaiju would be Izakade, with the whole island or country behind it as well, destroying everything in sight. There will also have the biggest array of laser beams, and nuclear beams shooting out from its tail spikes. This idea was inspired by Shin Gojira and his insane spine beams, that literally destroyed Tokyo and all air support. Legit they all look like if you gave a toddler or action figures to borrow and the little bastard just breaks it with no remorse and hesitation. The tail will be at a Goliath's balls weight of about a massive ball-crunching, breaking and butt-clenching 500 million megatons, the heaviest of its kind. This massive heavy tail can pretty much shake the entire world, and even deadlifters will die with this weight. But only one tail, you say? You have made the most excessive mech known in existence. Why stop at one measly tail? Oh my gosh dear viewer. You have finally learned what it means to be my subscriber. Fist subscribe by the way. Now you know the true essence of my plans. I will not hold back. This tail will be a whopping whoppist of 10 kilometers long, 5 kilometers high, and 15 kilometers in width. It will be equipped with a magnitude and array of weapons that is more even than the main body. Nuclear beams that could make your life past tense, and make you wake up in heaven's reception lobby. A true behemoth of tails, maybe even more dangerous than the main body itself. We will not hold back this time. The tail, this singular tail, is enough to destroy a country. Or maybe one swing from this pickle dickler crippler manipulator can obliterate all of humanity. Or maybe I digress. Can it beat Goku? Heck no. You fucking idiot. But can 30 tails beat Goku? I think so. Maybe. Maybe not. Who the balls knows? 30 tails? I hear you ask? Why? Isn't that a bit too much, TimusTrinitus? You've been a cunt these past minutes, but now you've it this time, boy. Yeah, it's a bit too much EY. Alright, it's cool, let me just increase numbers then. Let's add, about 300 tails. And with the grandstand Lee Big Kamuna Big Johnny Big Mama notorious big weight of 150 billion megatons. What the absolute holy balls, this mecha will absolutely give Dagon a run for its money. Heck, it might even rip Godzilla a new one. K. This tail will have 3 signature moves, with more moves and in-depth lore in my Bobzilla lore in the near future. Subscribe if you want more Bobzilla, you monkey. The first move will be Tornado, a tornado move where the ultimate Bobzilla will spin all its tails at Mach 300 speeds. A world-ending move, a pretty overpowered move if I do say so myself, hehe. The second move will be called World Star Smackdown Hip Hop. In this move Bobzilla will jump as high as he can, driving all his hydraulics in his feet to its absolute limits, and do a giant belly slap, with aftershocks of magnitude 100. Also a world-ending move. And the final, and my absolute fave move, the Chinese Dragon Firecracker movements 1 to 10. This move is possibly the most flashiest of them all. To put it simply, out Mecha Bobzilla here, will activate and engage all its weapons, and just fucking rampage and indiscriminately destroying everything in sight. And the movements 1 to 10 means that there are 10 variations of this move, with each movement deadlier than the last. Oh, you want to know what these moves are? PSSH, LMAO, subscribe and I'll tell you in the next video. And there you have it, the ultimate Mechagodzilla. What do you think? Is it cool? Balls? Or absolute fiery garbage? Or maybe you love it? And subscribe? If you did, then I am genuinely happy from the bottom of my heart. Now let's see the full glory of the ultimate Mechagodzilla. Fellow viewers, I give you Mechagodzilla.
アルティメットファイナルピースザパワーオブスウィンギングテールザアルティメットパワーオブジャパニーズスネークコンバインアルティメットロボットメカバグジラファイナルフォームメカゴジラアルティメットフォームジャパニーズエレガントエンジニアリングスーパープラスウルトラアイドントオッチマイヒーローアカデミアドントトルゴリラ ME ビッチ
It is done. Now let me give you the complete breakdown of Mechagodzilla. We have the body, which is 370 million metric tons. We have the feet, which are in total about 1.5 billion metric tons. It has about 150 million different weapons, jam-packed inside and out of Mechagodzilla. It has that perfect AI named Bob, thus why we called it Mechagodzilla, because of its AI. It can fly, it can swim, it can drive, and it can do martial arts, and it has 300 very huge and very unnecessary tails that can end this God's green earth in one swing. Which are about 150 billion megatons. With a grand total Robert De Niro gangster Italian Al Pacino grandest total of 100 trillion mega ultra super idle tons. Completely ball-breaking stats and specs we got here, completely autonomous, no human controls, cause they are absolute scrubs, at anything, and it has the most sentient AI. Only God knows if Mechagodzilla wants to start a robot uprising with him as the leader. Only time can tell when. Oh shit. Congratulations viewer for making this far, and I present to you our greatest invention yet, Ultimate Mechagodzilla, or the Ultimate Mechagodzilla TimusTrinitus style. How strong this mecha is. To be honest, that leaves it up to you viewers. How strong do you think this mecha is? And could its incredible weapons and armor, and some features live up to the word ultimate? Leave a comment down below, and I would like to hear your thoughts if you want me to continue expanding on the lore of Mechagodzilla, making him the most powerful mecha to ever grace his presence in the Godzilla universe. If you want to see more of Godzilla and you want me to take a deep dive of his strength and a more in-depth analysis of his weapons, what kind of armor he has and how he can combat kaijus, just to inform you, this is just a version 1 of Mechagodzilla, and it being the ultimate is far from complete. I want this mecha to completely rival God if there is one KEK, so expect more videos like this from now on, since we gotta get that YouTube monetization baby. Like and subscribe for more juicy content like this. I'll see next time monkey. This is your man, myth, and legend, TimusTrinitus, and I'll see you around. Peace out y'all.